Here in theCUBE, we look at deepfake videos of both President Zelensky and President Putin falsely calling on their own people to surrender. It began with a televised address from Russian President Vladimir Putin announcing that a military operation had begun. And soon after, Russian troops made their way across the border. This is a video that was shared online by the Ukrainian Border Guard Service. It shows Russian military vehicles making their way through the annexed Crimean Peninsula, across checkpoints, and further through Ukrainian territory. Now, despite the fact that Russia's defense ministry said it was not targeting residential areas, this does appear to be an apartment building that has been hit, and local Ukrainian authorities said that at least one person has died in this incident after, in their words, fierce fighting. Later on Thursday, Ukraine also confirmed that Russian forces had occupied a military base near the capital Kiev, as well as the former nuclear power plant of Chernobyl, located 130 kilometers to the north. Chernobyl was the scene of the world's worst nuclear disaster in April 1986, when reactor number 4 exploded and released nuclear waste across Europe. And now there are concerns from a number of Ukrainian authorities about what a Russian occupation of the former nuclear power plant might mean. Now, Russia's defense ministry has been very vocal about the strength and preparedness of its forces. But videos like that appear to show that Russia is facing unexpected fierce resistance on the ground, especially in those Ukrainian cities they have already captured. So-called humanitarian corridors, routes that allow civilians safe passage from these besieged cities and towards safety. Russia says that in recent days it has agreed to 2 ceasefires and has opened some of these corridors. But let's put this on a map for you. Over the weekend, a proposed route from the southern city of Mariupol to Zaporizhia here in the south, well, that failed. Both sides accusing each other of breaking the ceasefire, and Ukraine today says it has more evidence that Russian forces have been shelling Mariupol. But today, however, a safe humanitarian corridor was established between the city of Sumy here in the northeast, further south towards Poltava. Now, Russia has always referred to the ongoing war in Ukraine as a military operation, and since then, its state communications watchdog has further clamped down on what both civilians and the media can say. Claims from both sides can be very difficult to verify, but it is likely that this latest incident at that Mariupol theatre could lead to more misinformation being spread about so-called crisis actors. Now, crisis actors are people who are supposedly hired to play the role of injured or deceased war victims. And we do know that misinformation about Ukrainian crisis actors has been spread online. The most famous of these came after a deadly bombing on a Mariupol maternity hospital on the 9th of March. The most famous image from that incident was this, an injured pregnant woman being carted away on a stretcher. Both she and her unborn child later died. But immediately, Russian officials began spreading misleading claims that the attack on the Mariupol hospital was a hoax. On Thursday evening, state television Russia 24 shared this video, which they falsely claim shows the victims in Bucha were actually manufactured by Ukraine and were prosthetic dolls that had been placed on the ground. This video was first shared on Telegram, but it has since spread widely and gained hundreds of thousands of views. But this footage is misleading. It has been taken out of context. The video is actually from the set of a Russian television series that was filmed near St. Petersburg in March last month. We've confirmed that the location is correct. You can see in these images that we have verified that that same film stunt director, dressed in khaki army green, can be seen preparing another prosthetic doll for a balcony scene. This is a video that claims to show Ukrainian corpses coming back to life in body bags. Users have falsely claimed that this is evidence that the war in Ukraine is an apparent hoax or even Western propaganda. But this video is misleading. If you go online, you can use open source tools to reverse search and find when that video was first uploaded to the internet. And as you can see, it does not show recent footage from Ukraine. It was actually uploaded earlier this year in February and was uploaded to YouTube by an Austrian broadcaster. Some online users have claimed that in Germany, Ukrainian refugees were invited to stay at a temporary hotel at the former Nazi concentration camp at Sachsenhausen near Berlin. Some people shared this image, claiming that Ukrainian flags and the words "Welcome Home" were placed outside the barracks at the former camp. But this is what is known as a deepfake video. It has been manipulated using artificial intelligence. President Zelensky never says those words. What he has said in a post on Instagram is that the only people he wants to surrender are Russians. Now, when it comes to misinformation during the Ukraine war, previously it's been videos or photos that have simply been taken out of context. But as Sam Gregory from Witness told me, that kind of deepfake video represents something different.